AOC, who was very upset. You know, you're a comedian, you're doing what you do, saying things are actually quite the compliments.
I was complimenting. She's Jenny from the block. I mean, J-Lo is known for her voluptuous derriere, and all I was trying to do is say you look great. I don't know why. And I'm in Texas, and you're in Georgia, so we have Southern hospitality.
Right.
That's how we talk. You're a beautiful lady. You are a very beautiful lady, and I don't mean that anything sexual. I'm just saying, I'm just commenting on your beauty. I don't think that for me is some sort of negative thing, but they live in a society where compliments are bigotry and based in racism and hate.
It is. It's terrible.
Marjorie Greene, who, of course, as we've been talking about, has certainly faced her own harassment, her own threats, whether physical or sexual, thinks it's hilarious for a random guy to show up and to shout sexual comments about AOC's ass. She thinks that that's just awesome. She thinks that's, more importantly, acceptable. She thinks that's how we should treat people we disagree with. We should follow them around and make them feel like we might kill them or rape them at any moment. That's what we should do, River.
Yeah, I think it's so appropriate to have Marjorie Taylor Greene weighing in on this, because she to me is so emblematic of the culture of womanhood, and I'm being very specific with my language there. On the right, the hyper conservative right, that like, yes, women should just be on the subservient level and willing to, hey, yes, harassment it's just a compliment. Chill out. Like, women on the right are just supposed to just be sort of dragged around in this like unsafe space, so that then, oh, these men are going to protect you from them, though, is the thing. Like this constant. So you should, just a random person that you do not know, not a person that you have ever seen before in your life, yelling about your body is a compliment. You know, like it's such a derangement to me of like what they believe, where they believe their position is in society, and that is what all women should be. They should be grateful for that. You know, like women should be grateful to get a compliment from across the street, which is like your body, you know, like
exactly.
Nobody wants to be no matter what your gender is. I can safely say no one wants to be yelled at from across the street. You know, I shouldn't say no one. I have a good friend who has a bit about wanting that. You know, like on a regular basis, it's just so unsettling, and it's unsettling to me like how much the right still pushes this idea that that's what women deserve.
Yeah, and look, she knows. Marjorie Greene doesn't want that, and she shouldn't face that. I will stupidly have consistent principles,
of course,
for those I agree with and those I don't agree with. She would not. She would freak out, and the right wing will freak out. If it happens tomorrow, by the way, which I hope that it doesn't, she will freak out, rightfully so. Fox News will leap to her defense. The clear, immediate hypocrisy will, of course, be ignored because they don't consider hypocrisy to be a bad thing. They don't consider being actively lied to be a bad thing. He said there. And we're not showing him purposely because I don't give a damn who he is, and I hope that he gets no clout out of this. I don't care. He can go back to being a disgusting rando and a creep, and until eventually he's locked up, because in his pursuit to get the right to like him, he is going to keep pushing boundaries until eventually he gets arrested for breaking laws. So that's my prediction. Anyway, him saying it's just a compliment, and she laughs, but they know that it's not. But like we have to grapple with how little they care about. He's not telling that to me, because why would I be watching the show? He's telling that to conservatives, and they will laugh because they know that it's not true. The truth, lies, it's all just whatever's convenient. AOC's evil, so you can do anything you want to her. Marjorie Greene is good, and so she must be protected, even in the exact same circumstance. You become open to these threats because you're an evil leftist. Right. That's the only principle here. I want to play just a little bit more of the video though, and then we'll get back into it.
Yeah.
But in how we feel in our culture, where we believe in, two genders.
Yeah,
male,
no, there's 17 female. Actually now. No.
That's what some people say.
I know, it's insane.
But no, it's. I think women should be confident, and if a man gives you a compliment, a woman can say thank you. That's a good thing. Say thank you. Or, if she's going up the stairs and someone's yelling stuff at her, she can just wave and go on and not go into full outrage.
That's what she really believes. That's what she would. That's the standard she would apply to herself. That's how she really feels. Because that's who she is. She's a woman who apparently really believes that. In the same way that the guy she's talking to is a comedian, and you can tell because when she made the joke about 2 genders, he came up with something no one had ever said before and said, "No, there's 17."
17.
That's why he's a comedian.
Yeah, that's why he's a comedian.
Why can't you come up with funny original stuff like that, River? That there's 17. And someone's going to identify as an attack helicopter.
That's the perfect number, is 17 genders. I mean, of course she leads off with "we believe" in our culture, which is also like ding, 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 hello, whistle, dog whistle going off. Because that is, this kind of behavior from the right and saying like, this is how women should accept men's behavior. Like, to me, I'm like, this can be gendered behavior, but it's also like, this is just bad behavior. You can take the gender out of it, and like anyone should not have to be subjected to this. I see a person in Marjorie Taylor Greene who wants so badly to be accepted and protected that she's willing to do anything, which is to just like throw anybody away. I mean, I also think it's important to acknowledge that women hardcore participate and uphold the patriarchy, and she is a great example of that. But I see a person who likely was not accepted into like the very thin margin of femininity, and it has now gotten that window in there and is just pulling the ladder up and is just in there and willing to throw anybody under the bus to hang on to the amount of like power and interest that she's gained out of all of this, Yeah,
100%. I'm gonna play one more very brief clip here, which is it's about a different topic. They somehow tried to make it related. I play this because I want you to see her reaction to this thing that's said. Remember, she is still technically a congressperson. She doesn't do any work. She literally hosts a podcast like every day. That's my job. I'm not a politician. Like, she has constituents. All she does is talk to trolls. That's what she does. And when they make certain comments, take a look at how she responds.
Literally the greatest summer ever of George Floyd, RIP. I think he's 2 years sober now. But what I want to say is a good thing about George Floyd is.
Did you get the joke there from the comedian? Because George Floyd was brutally murdered. He's now sober because he's the bad guy. The innocent man who was needlessly killed by a cop is worthy of mockery. She didn't rebut it. She just gave her little smile and looked at the camera. The congresswoman, he's not a criminal. Like, even in their own twisted, racist conception of the world, it's not supposed to be about him being the evil one. They're supposed to pretend that all the protesters are the evil ones. But this guy has to go beyond it because George Floyd is, lest we forget, Black. And so he's evil and he must be mocked for his murder. It never ends. It really never ends with these people.
I'm honestly surprised by her reaction. Like, I have to be totally honest that I mean, obviously I'm not in her mind, but that looks like a person who, that looks like that was a bridge too far for her, which is wild.
Oh, you think so?
It looked like it, and I could be totally wrong. I could be being a little too generous, but the fact that she didn't say anything in agreement to that, like the way she sort of like looks away from, look at that. But that, I mean, speaks to, I don't know, that doesn't look like a person that agrees to me. But
she's a grown ass politician.
I know
she could say something.
She can. I'm not diminishing that, and I was gonna say, like, that is the difference to me between the left and the right, is they will get in bed with whoever they can to get anything they want. Like, they don't care. I mean, that goes back to what I was originally saying, is like her willingness to be accepted by the people that she sees have the power, in whatever situation that is. And that is it to me, to watch that happen, to realize like, oh, this is too far for me, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter because this guy saying that is going to get me something, this is not, I'm not trying to give her a super generous read on that, but I am surprised that she didn't go down the road with him on that.
Yeah, look, I will say, even if I accept what you're saying, I don't think you should give her any kind of a generous read.
No, I'm not.
Let's say that you're right. So it wasn't that she agreed, but that so she would say that she's this strong figure. She's a congresswoman. She has like so many followers. Then if you're right, she knows that if she corrects him, they'll hate it. She is scared. Like, let's say that's actually, she feels a thing. That was wrong to say, but she is so scared of losing the tenuous grasp that she has on power and respect among these deranged people that she can't say anything. What a terrible life to live.
That's what
you cannot speak your value.
What I'm saying, like afraid of losing like his followers or something. You know what I mean? Or afraid of losing the people that disagree with you when in that moment. It's terrible. It's an awful, awful road to go down.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.